Hi, well, I am about to head to bed, but I just wanted to do a video update real quick about the closing arguments. Um, wow. Where to start? Um, the defense, in my opinion, the closing arguments that he put on, he just kept going in circles and just repeating the same thing over and over and over. And I know that it's because he could not use his opening statements and his closing statements because he didn't prove those things during the trial, such as the molestation and George, hiding, helping to cover up Kaylee's death. But here's the thing: is like when Cheney Mason got up at the end, uh, all he did was pretty much go over with the jury what their instructions will be when determining guilt or innocence, and pretty much that was it. And this is the same exact thing these jurors are going to hear tomorrow from Judge Perry once the prosecution gets through with their rebuttal closing. So I can imagine what's going to be going through their heads. And I'm thinking, well, we just heard this last night from the defense. But anyway, I'm going to go to bed because I need to make sure that I'm up by 8:15, 8:20. Since Judge Perry said 8:30 sharp, they will be starting in the morning. But you know how that goes. He says 8:30, then it'll probably be 9:15 or 9:30 before they get started because the defense is going to cause it to be delayed, even though the jury already knows they were told 8:30 sharp. So if they're going to be thinking, if they're not going into that courtroom until 9 o'clock or after, they're going to know who's the cause of it because the people are not stupid. They were not being sent away like this during the prosecution's part, the trial when they had their witnesses and their experts up there. But as soon as the defense took over, they were constantly, like Judge Perry says, like Pop-Tarts, up and down, in and out, of the courtroom, all through the day. Delays, having to cancel court for the day. So they know who's causing all this. And me personally, if I was on the jury, I'm going to say, well, why are they causing all of this? They must have something to hide, or they know that she's guilty and they're trying to keep all this stuff out as far as evidence and statements and whatnot goes. But I know that they will be happy to get back home, and I was really hoping that they would have been able to go home by now. I mean, they've been in what, like 5 or 6 weeks now, and they were told at the beginning of this that they were expected to have all this wrapped up and done by the 4th of July. And I know they want to be home with their families, have a cookout, go see the fireworks. And then there was another juror that has a trip that was already planned on the 7th. They had said that he had had it planned for months, and it was a non-refundable deal, so that he, wants to go on. I mean, I don't blame him if you paid for a trip that you've had scheduled for months, which I know we cannot ever foresee if we're going to be summoned to jury duty. But either way, um, I'd be ready to get out of there too. I probably would have. I don't know how they stayed awake earlier because I was sitting here on my couch watching the defense with their closing statements, and I dozed off a few times. I mean, it was just ridiculous. You're just repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's like a broken record. So like I said, the jury are smart and they'll realize they didn't really have anything to go on, and that's why I kept using the same thing. And what is it with this imaginary friends chart? People are going to look at that and think, no, she was a grown woman. These were not imaginary friends. These were just flat out lies that she told to try to cover her tracks. 5-year-old kids have imaginary friends, not 22-year-old women. I mean, she's 22 at the time, she's 25 now. So I think that there will be a guilty verdict. I think that, again, this is my opinion. I believe that we'll have a guilty verdict. I want to say Tuesday at the latest. But something tells me tomorrow night, well, Monday night, the 4th of July, that they'll come back with a verdict. Um, I think that with what I've seen and what I've heard, I think they have enough to convict her on the first-degree murder. Whether or not they'll recommend life without parole or death, I don't know. I can't speak for what's going through the mind of those people. But I think that they have showed well than enough to determine there was premeditation involved. So anyway, I'm going to go. And I'll do an update once all the closing, the rebuttal and the prosecution is completed and all that. Maybe later tomorrow night. I mean, if they get a verdict, it would be after that because, it is the 4th of July. I'm going to withdraw an invitation to attend our 4th of July parade in Douglasville so that I can stay home and watch the rebuttal. And I know, that's pretty bad. I've got it bad. I need the 12-step program after this is over with. And there's already a group on Facebook for that, which I thought that was pretty funny. So, all right, everybody, have a good night. I'll be back later. And have a very happy 4th of July. And thank you to our men and women of our U.S. military for all that you do. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye, everybody.